do it. So the homework assignment. That template. Put some art on all the layers, which it looks like you've done. You just need that you're drawing out the mouth shape. Okay, so good. And then you just have that path over everything. And then do you want to see the pupil or you just... Yeah, well right now your pupil's just hidden behind that yellow path you drag it up a couple. Nope. Nope. Yeah, and usually I call that, like that yellow one, I would call my right eye color. Good. Okay. Uh, cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's fine. Yeah, usually like that yellow one that you have named path. I have left eyeball and I have left eye color. Like, oh, because eyeball is going to be folk name and character, and I'm going to treat that like uh, area in which the eye or the pupils can travel. So either like do that or delete that layer and call that path. Yeah. Yep. And then yep. And then if you don't need the other one, just another empty layer called left eyeball. Yeah. No, it'll work. Usually your blink's gonna be like at the top down path. Um, yeah, it just when it fires out when you blink, you're functionally. Okay. It kind of depends on what you're seeing right now. Usually, like, I'll click on the waiting room and I can see everybody's. Just click on the bigger. Exactly hooked up to show. Actually, help you though if you can. Yeah, that's okay. I must say it's good to see what you're doing so that all. But all I want to do here is actually what better if I do with OBS. I think. Anyways, basically just make my new project. This one, build them out. That would be make Alfie like an elf. Because it's easy to stick. So with my new project saved, Photoshop document case, it looks like you're bringing in an Illustrator. And since you followed the template, what should happen? Stuff start working. Grab my character. Timeline. And as I go through this stuff, I see that things are already kind of marked. Look at stuff since the layer names were correct. They're marked already. Right eyebrow is a right eyebrow. Left. It shows up as a just because I used their name out for eyeball. You always see this like pupil range that shows you how far eyeball can travel. Look at it; it has its own bounding. So this bounding box is going to smack into the sides of this. And then the blink. Blink is going to swap out everything else. Marked. Because this character didn't actually. But really, at this stage, I'm just going and maybe empty layers will give you a little trouble. Smiles. This isn't more. So in this case, this is the one advanced thing I have in here. Is I brought in this got happy, sad, and neutral, and all of those are marked mouth. You might just have your mouth group. Say that. Saying like go over here into the tags, selected. Tag it as a. That's all we're doing. We're just looking at these layers now. Make sure they're tagged correctly over here. Okay, yep, there's the pupil. It's marked right. And draw that line. So you're going to want to grab your head, find out where the pivot of that is. So put it up here. Down to there. And just let me know where you're at if you're trying this on your own right now. Follow up. There we go. Mm-hmm. Um, um, are all the yellow pieces on one layer? Okay. So just find that layer. Oh yeah, Gorilla Boss. What I'm seeing. Just right next to Gorilla Boss, there's a checkbox you can hit for the crown. Down where it says Gorilla Boss, very bottom, right there. Yeah, let's check that crown. And that way it'll be independent. It'll kind of treat it like its own thing, and so it shouldn't interfere with the puppet itself. I often I have a background layer that in my hit it and put a crown on it. Yep, wait a second. Back up on it. Oh. Do you have your stuff up? Got. Like if I didn't have a body, where'd it go? Weird. Live for like a second. Oh, okay. Oh, weird. What's that outline? Did you like your art in there? That body group? But you don't want to use right now? Well, yeah, I mean, we can effectively ignore it if you make it independent. Then when you grab your head layer, wherever you move that pivot. Um, so yeah, you just want to make sure you edit where your head pivot is. Body and character, you'll see like those two pivots. But like character at the bottom of my character, the hips. Yeah, there you go. And so when you go to record this now, what's going to happen? Max is, beneficial. What's going to happen is the whole character is probably going to rotate because the character. There's something going on. Max, did you just mark handles or something as eyebrows? I am confused. Yeah. Stream has ended. Dying. Oh, yes. Why does it move like that though? That's, I mean, I like it. I'm just trying to figure out what you did. That's, it looks like. Okay, but then you have eyebrow art, and you have eye art. Is all this tagged the way they should? Because the way that the way your eyebrow and your eyes are deforming, it's almost as not like these layers. Let's see, just well, no. When I see that, I see like the whole head square. That it looks like that. The eyes are even squashing. Hey, you got something good. Something's just tagged wrong. I would go through all these layers in the puppet band. Start with the eyebrow. Let's click on the right eyebrow. What's it doing? Click on the layer itself. Boom. Okay, that's marked as an eyebrow. Where's the pivot for that at? Actually, probably the one above is what you click on that. Okay, yeah. That's marked as an eyebrow. Alright, just do the same with the left. You don't have to expand them. Yeah, okay, and left eye. Gotta check all. Okay, so you got something called lid. That's up. Not marked as an, and it's not independent. So probably making that independent will fix that on both eyes. Will probably fix squishing, but they won't. And in fact, I think it's stupid. Like the way they have it set up, I think they have a ball. You can mark that as a top eyelid right now. And eyelid, yeah, it's like the hamburgers. Burger. No. Click. Yeah, it's the same with the left. Do it. Does. There's another way to tag them if that becomes. So clearly more stuff broke. What happens if you reset your set rest pose? I always try to do that. But really shouldn't care about the. Yeah, yeah. Some things are just tagged weird. Still, I think. Is your head tagged as a head and its pivot point? No. Gator. Mouth. Hey, there you go. You're on step 2, Peel. Yep, we're gonna make that stop. And this is a silly thing. That's why, following like that here guide is not square, because depending on what happens up and accidentally just called it head something. Well, alright, while you're checking the layers. So, in the rigging panel, I have my character here. If I just select the whole character, it's going to put pins down at the feet. So down here, there's like a little tool. It's the pin tool. Just kind of zoom in. And oftentimes I'll do this. I'll do like a toe. This is just setting us up for later. That's getting better. Eyes are still doing like some relationship between your pupil and your eyeball. And check the sublayers in that case too, and make sure they're not marked as. That happens a lot. One of the things I always just make sure I don't use a bespoke name anywhere unless it's the thing I'm targeting. So it's where you make a habit of, I'm going to make left eyelid layer and then group it and call that your left eyelid. And Character Animator will load that up and automatically like tag both of them. Okay, so So you can apply another handle tag. Plus, and like the best way probably to get around that. A handle tag, so right now these are tagged as fixed. Zoom in, you should be able to see the word fixed on them. Oh, what did we do last time? I wasn't abusing my mouse. I forget. Plus and minus. That works. There is a alt on it. Yeah, I usually use alt and alt drag around in like hold. Yeah. No. That's Max's, which seems to be almost behaving better now. I'll look at that again in a second here. So on your feet, put those. There you go. I think it's working. Yeah, groovy. Huzzah. Yeah, love it. There's something in there. Just something. Pupil, yeah. See, like that's registering as a pupil. Oh, also the pupils should be independent. Put a crown on them. See that? Probably why it's doing that. All right. So now I got my guy. You got your guy. Cool. All right. Oh, that is weird that it's turned black. Huh. There is a special kind of pin you can put there, or you can just re-tag that one that you have in there. So if you click on either of the ones they fixed, just travel back in history here. So, what do you got? Project. Kind of in the upper left-hand corner, you see project, like those double arrows going out. Same. My screen looks the same as you. So, right, like in the left upper hand corner, you see that little home. Underneath it says project. And just to the right of project are like two little double arrows. If you click that, you can see history. And you can actually go back before you added those two handles. Just click like I can see that, yeah. Maybe just up before you added the fixed handles. Or up or something. This is cool. It stores your history though all the time, so you can like click to different, and you can even save versions there. Drastic. You don't delete them. You just move up to the one you want. History, and that sets the puppet to that point. And it's still black. That I've never ever seen this in my. I'm assuming it's just having rendering the Illustrator file. So you could just try restarting. And as long as you've saved your project once, you don't need to save it. It just constantly. Yep. So save project version is just going to automatically save a copy of your project, and it'll append like 01 at the end of it or something. A save name project is just going to basically be the same thing, but it'll let you give it a specific name. And you'll see actually those are showing up in your project panel as different versions of your character, and you can switch between. So if you want to make some, it's in the history. Oh yeah, save new version. Yeah, so you'll see like those versions in that history panel that you can just go back to. Then save project as is usually how I start. Like I create a new project, I save project as, I make a project folder like called Gorilla or whatever, save it there. So right now what probably is happening is this is saved as Character Animator Project 004 or whatever in like Documents, Adobe Character Animator. So it is probably saved somewhere, just you might never find it. Searching for. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get past the it turning black thing, and then I'll show you. Add some handles. The ones on the feet, those you wanted. That we did on purpose. What I would probably do for the art is either try to reload the art, I can try to do that, or just close character and open it. Um, Interesting. Never seen. Um, that is exactly what I did. That shouldn't be a problem. Um, One other thing you can try, like, you can definitely just try restarting Character Animator because I'm stuck on. Another thing is like the save your Illustrator file. I've seen some compatibility issues, like Illustrator 2021 or 2020 files, and you can save your Illustrator file as legacy. Save it with kind of like a different. Yeah, that's a weird one. I can definitely ask them about that. Reference to that online. Okay, so check this out. In the rigging panel, down on the bottom there, you see a bunch of options. One is, this is actually handy. Now, a lot of people, I don't think, notice it, but you got this little exclamation point thing here, and if you pop that down, it's actually going to show you rigging issues. So, like, here it says elf, dragger, no layer, layers or handles are required, tags could handle tagged as mouth is not being used. And some of these aren't like fatal or bad. It's just something like maybe you haven't taken care of this bit yet. But if you're really stuck, sometimes this can tell you. The other thing you can do is do parts of your character in like this dense wireframe or just this outline box way. I'm usually looking at it with a wireframe, but if you want to see your art a little clearer, you can toggle these. Then, okay. Yeah, exactly like. Yeah, yeah, I'm totally gonna show you that. I just figured I'd go through these real quick so you understand, because I want to lead up to like what handles are and how. But that's your selection tool, your hand tool. Hand tool just lets you drag around canvas, and then you found the Z. Okay, but then we have a handle, right? And that's looks like a bullseye. Put a handle down wherever. Like I could select the body layer I have here. I can plop a handle down on the leg here. Boom. And this is just a regular handle. This is like the puppet warp tool. I'm not going to drag this one. This one is just to sort of say, here is a point that I want this bit of mesh to bend at. Right? But then any handle that you make, that's just a base handle. Like as we go down this aisle of tools, we have a handle, we have a stick. So I could say, I don't want that part to bend. This part to bend. That's where I want it to bend at. We then have fix tool, the pin tool, and that's where you pin down the feet. And that's specific behavior that says, hey, stay right where you are, don't move. And then we have the dragger handle. And the dragger handle is what you'd want for like an arm. So I can come out here to the end of the arm and plop down a dragger. And then it's going to say draggable. And then you got your physics angle. Wherever you put that, physics is going to take over stuff too. Now the interesting thing though is any one of these, like if you just put down a base handle right here at the elbow, move over here, the properties panel, right next to it where the big guy is, you can mark any of your handles however you want. You can say, well, I want it to be a dangle or a magnet or a draggable fixed, or I want it to have motion line. So dragger, fixed, and motion line. I'm going to modify this plain handle to draggable. Right now this is one piece, and this is where I wanted you to start though, so we could just get the basics. Eventually, you're probably going to want to tear your arms off separate layers and make those independent. And yeah. Yeah, and you're gonna animate it. It's not like I'm in the rig panel. I'm gonna use mesh. It's once I hit record, then these are available. So I'll be able to drag a draggable. But a regular handle just kind of stays where it is and says I'm a pivot point. A stick says don't bend me, and a fix says stay right where you are. And so those are the different sort of tools you have. So I'm doing all this on the body layer. I'm just saying, okay, there, my legs are fixed. Now this one has a knee, and it has this area that I don't want to bend, in this area I don't. Forward then, see, kind of this kind of weird thing happening to his knee and stuff. Yeah, it's draggable. That those is draggable. Now, but you see what's happening? This kind of weirdness where all the body's sort of deforming. And that's because this is all one layer. And this is something you can kind of pin down. Like if I were to go in here, I could probably make this little stick arm work. Those big gorilla arms, go ahead and put draggers on them and see what they do, but they're probably gonna, start to pull the body as well. Oh, perfect. Hmm. Yep. So, I mean, if you want, I can give you a breakdown of how I animate stuff. Just a brief one. We'll just use this because it's simple enough. But so, what I do, I set my rest pose, and for that hand, basically that, but whatever. I set my rest pose. In the puppet track behavior under my camera here, I'm going to hold down control and I'm going to click an active behavior. And that's going to turn them all off. Now this thing won't do anything with anything that I'm recording. Gator's looking good, Max. Doing all the stuff. Ah. Gotta have the art. Oh. Okay. The first thing I do, I have some audio or something animating to, I'll turn on just my face beat. And your puppet's gonna get more and more complicated probably. Wow, what the crap is going on with mine? That just it is. Okay. And what I've been doing recently, not even hitting record. I don't do this. I don't hit record. Go like, like I'm having a good time and I'm doing stuff. You can do that. That's what you'll get. And go like, like I'm having a good time and I'm doing stuff. Oh. All right. So I don't do that. What I have been doing recently, I used to kind of do that. What I've been doing recently, though, is I'll say, okay, I want this pose, so I'm going to tilt my head and get them like this. And then if you hold down Control and press 2, what Character Animator will do is make a track for any puppet track behaviors that you have enabled. So since I only have the face enabled, it's only going to make a track for the face. So that'll be my first pose. And then I want, maybe he's going to get excited and stand up like this. So I'll move my timeline down here, get into the pose I want, hit pull 2 again, makes another track. And now that I got all this power, I can just sit here and say, well, okay, I want that transition to take this long. And maybe if you right click on a track, you can actually do the blend in and out curves. So maybe I want it to ease in, but just fly out. Play that back. That. And I love doing it this way because now I have complete control of my timing. When do I want them to go here? Maybe I messed that up as I was acting it out with the camera and just hitting record. But now I can actually adjust that. I can adjust how long it takes for him to hit that pose so I can make it happy and fast. Yeah. Fortunately, there aren't yet. That's something I've asked for. It's just the blending right there, the E. That is a thing that's coming. And I think some of these have some access. So yeah. I've been pushing on that because I like this workflow way better. So once I get the face done, we'll say, okay, now I want to work on this hand. So I need to turn just the dragger on. I only activate one behavior at a time unless like my head is very complicated and it actually has 3 face behaviors that should be on, you know. But I break it all down in a second. So he's in this pose and I want to be like, ah. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'll be under this panel. And we'll dig more into this because you can add as many, like there's the dragger handles, then there's the dragger behavior. This dragger behavior currently dictates how all dragger handles puppet behave, but you can add more. And we'll talk about that as we make our puppets more. Right now it's just this one. And you can actually, you know, set some settings in the behavior panel. The range, like so it can only pixels or whatever. You can say after move, what does it do? Does it hold in place or does it rest? So when I do that, I actually get back to its rest pose when I go. Now that is great for live streaming. And I don't have to worry about it. I can just get up here and be like, hi, and let go, and it goes back to where it was. For animation, I do. So I just have the dragger. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to move the hand up here like, oh, I'm going to do this pose. Hold 2. I'm going to make a track. Then he's going to come down like this, and maybe now I want the handle down here, like planing something. And I'll often do this too. I'll look at this and think about if I pull this back here so it kind of that. I'll even look at my curves and you see how the arm sort of presses in on itself and then shoots there. So something I'll do, I'll get sort of in the midpoint of these 2 dragger tracks that I just made. Kind of like the hand was here. Oh, actually, this is a useful thing. If I turn dragger off for a second, I can have the hand here and hit Shift F6. Yeah, F6. Oh yeah, Shift F6. And that is going to make a scene snapshot. Ghost. So I know Shift F6 makes one and F6 gets rid of it. The only thing is, this is the weird thing about animating in here. Made for all this camera tracking crap. Like, you gotta turn stuff on and off, so you can see this, but as soon as you let go, the dragger behavior takes over and the hand just snaps back to where it was. I don't know. So I tend to, you know, I work back and forth. If I really want to see it, I turn the dragger off. I can just see been recorded. But if I want to animate it, I have to turn the dragger back on. So in this case, I'm just going to find sort of a middle pose here. Control 2 again. And here in my time. Oh, oh boy. Just kind of ease out of this first pose I have, which is hand up, into this next pose I have, a hand in the middle. Right back out of that, and straight down. I'll just edit these blend-in curves so they're in. F6 to turn off my skin. I get, you know, something more like that. I get my arc back and I can control where all my tracks are. So I can just slide this stuff around. Well, I don't want the hand to hit there. I want it to hit sooner. You know, edit how that works. And I just move on. Okay, now I want the eye gaze. So I just turn the eye gaze on. He's doing his eye gaze. And actually, when I animate, I generally turn. You open up eye gaze, you can see camera input. I usually turn on keyboard input and turn camera input off. And in this case, I oftentimes will just record. Then you use your arrow keys to say where the eyes are going to be. There, and then they're there. And now I'm going to end up with a eye gaze track here. And so I got my eye gazes done. You can do this the same way too. You can just Control 2 and make your frames and blend them, or your tracks and blend. Yep. I think it's kind of like clicking where you want them to look. Pretty cool. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do with that, actually. Snap eye gaze, minimum snap duration, and all kinds of settings to behaviors as well. So I'll turn that off. Now I want to record my lip sync, so turn the lip sync on. For instance, I love it. All right, so now I put down its lip sync tracks. I love it. Yep. Kind of did a crappy job. I'm never happy with what it does. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and that's about it in this case. We don't have any other behaviors on here. This is how I break down my. I love it. It does get really fast. I mean, this is the fastest workflow I've made. I've tried a bunch of others, and I you know, at first I did what everybody does. I think I just hit record and started moving junk. I was like, well, that looks like crap. It is very, um, bu- 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 yeah. So I want to save deeper explanations of features so we start to use them. So I guess we could talk about, um, well, I mean, we can look at the arms, for instance. Break those up. It looks like your eyes are working and stuff. So you see how your pupils rift up into your head or under your brows? If you want to, like, that's what I was talking about. Like, if you want to, you can make that layer that's yellow called eye color, and then make other layer called eyeball, and actually make it smaller than eye color. That's one way to just sort of limit the range of how far your eye or your pupils get. So there's there's a bunch of things we can look at. The first thing is how big is your document itself. So you can get to that if you just click on your timeline, not any of the tracks. Then under the camera, a scene panel will be available, and that is where you can see the width and height of your height of your. And I'm also going to show you like some of the specific stuff that comes with Adobe Illustrator and how that is rendered in Character Animator. But check that first. You know where I've been making those tracks at? Do you have that area? Okay. Okay, like 1920 by 1080. Alright, so your character seems to be rendering small, but we want to check one other place. So in the timeline, if you actually click on your character, clicking on Elf in it, I will see all those puppet track behavior. One of them is called Transform. Under Transform, you can see whether or not the scale is set to 100 for your character. Oh, look at that. That's fancy. Are those helicopters? What's going on there? Oh, there you go. Zilla. That was a good time. Um, yeah. There you go. Now you're starting to get them. The other place you can check though, like if I just click on the last piece. It's pretty cool. The other thing you can mess with, if you have your character select again, I was like looking at the face behavior and open that up. It's got a lot of options actually, and this is where I do a lot of tweaking. Like you can engage pose to pose motion. Character will snap from pose to the next. I very rarely use that. I use it for things. Change like the head position strength, rotation strength, all that kind of good stuff. You just kind of get your character to where you want it. But I think probably we have time to go in and break out our arms, maybe. Set up the arms. They're a little more flexible. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. If you want to try that real quick, got a shot. Like, like half minutes anyways. Okay. Overwhelming. Should show you guys this. It's actually the next thing. What's this showing? I would make one, yeah, that's like it could even be yellow, just the same color as the art, and you actually call those like left eyeball, right eyeball. And then call the actual yellow part the color, just like left eye color, right eye. And that's not a bespoke name, it's just my naming conventions. And this y'all to look at later. What? Right, okay. And you save the file, right? The Illustrator file. Okay. So in your puppet or your project panel, if you click on the puppet, in your case, I don't know what you called yours, gorilla or whatever. Yeah. Way over there. Weird how it does that. Let's see. Body layer. Okay, yeah, in your project panel, just make sure you click on Gorilla Boss template of your seed. I mean, right. Yep. Yep, okay. Yeah, so you got it. So now on the far right, under where your camera goes, you'll see a tab that says Puppet, and in there it says E something course files, Gorilla Boss, and it has a little tab that says Auto Sync with Artwork. But it actually, he's there again now. He only disappears when you hit record? Oh wait. Oh wait, no, something's wrong there. Like if I'm looking at your timeline, your character isn't extending to the time that you're at. See this? Yeah. There you go. Okay. Phew. Honestly, guys, that's all most of this is like break stuff and try to figure out how you broke it. And then you just no, don't do that. Now you see how the pupils don't leave that red part now, right? So if you were to make them yellow, you would never know that they were there, but it would limit the motion of your pupils. Or you could leave them red because he looks cool. I mean, so I'm gonna pop into Photoshop again, and I have to edit my artwork because my body is one layer, but maybe you don't, or maybe you just adjust things a bit. But ultimately, what we're gonna want under the body, I have this body layer, which I might just end up calling like torso or something. And then I'm gonna have to go in and cut out this art that I used for arms, so I can split them into their own. Clean up the art later. Okay. Now I can name this one plus left arm. On the other side. X. Anyways, plus right arm. And now you've got two things that are, since I added plus to the name, they're automatically going to have the crown. Character Animator is just going to add a crown to it. So in your Illustrator file, if you already have the layers already split up for the arms, just make sure you collect those all into a new layer, like all the left arm stuff and all the right arm stuff into their own respective new layers, and name those left arm, right arm. And then we'll be able to give you working arms. So you go inside of there, and in Illustrator, you click on those little discs on the right. I mean, I don't know how to use Illustrator. To select all the ones that are part of your left arm, all the little shapes that are part of your left arm. And then I use it almost as much as I use Photoshop, I guess. It all depends what look I'm going for, what I'm. It doesn't have a mouse set. Uh-huh. Made one. It's on my list somewhere. Just open somebody here. We'll open Gail. Gail Winclaw. So I got the same thing. Here's my body. And then I have my body background in here. And I already broke these up, but for instance, if I had these two paths that I wanted to be in the left arm, if you click these little discs, like control click or shift click, and go up to the top 3 lines here at the top of your layers, say collect a new layer. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm backwards. If you just select them, you don't have to hit select a new. That will move those into a layer, and that layer I could name left arm. I had already done that character, so. And as you get, as you start building more and more of these things, you'll just start making your art like this. I want that to be separate. Because we can break all those rules. Yeah. Oh, well, so clicking one of the circles actually physically selects the layer. So if I had like an edit tool active, that is what it would start editing. For this, yeah. For this, all you need to do is actually select them. You don't need clicking shift select the layers for your arm. Then go up to the lines at the top, the little menus. And that will keep it under your body, but it'll make a new layer that you can name like plus left arm and another one plus right arm. I should work on Narek after this, but I kind of want to play with the 3D stuff, Max. I don't know what to do. Not really. I think he's using it right now, but it's like all the rough art, just shapes. Really cool. Yeah, I want to make it look nice. Right now, big old shapes. So when because I got the text set up now. I think I gotta find a new modeler though. The one I'm trying to hire is just so unresponsive. Work out for us. Yeah. I think I am. I'm not gonna be taking commissions. But any of you that get good at rigging, I get a lot of people who want commissions. Happy to collaborate. Some money, You got it? Yeah, let's see what you What you got? Oh, wow. Illustrator is weird, man, with Character Animator. I mean, one of the things I always suggest is do save it as late. I've had issues with version. But this might just be a simple sort of thing here. So I just need to see your rig panel and kind of how things. That is weird that it broke it. Okay, left arm, right leg, body, right arm, right leg. Okay, so it's probably just, we'll just kind of go through the layers again. Like if you select your head, let's see where the pivot is. And that looks pretty good. Then we probably just want to, actually, what I'm thinking is happened. Probably going to need to delete those fixed hands. Because we did change this enough now that we start putting our rigging on the body layer, not just the characters. Cool. And then if you select the body, we can start breaking that down. I'll kind of follow along this one. It's something fall apart, but I didn't break my legs off, so maybe. Actually, for now, the right leg and the right leg 2, let's take the crowns off of those. And also the body layer. Take the crown off the body layer. But leave left arm and right arm with the crowns on. Cool. Now, while you're on the body layer, go ahead and put those pins back on the feet. And there's actual like design philosophy to why what I'm saying makes the puppet work. It's a really tough one to explain for me still because I feel like it's touch and go. Like I'm still trying to fully grok it. But there's like sort of hierarchy rules to the way Character Animator works. And as we keep making these things more advanced, you'll begin your own sense of that and how it works and it that good stuff. Wow, why does that keep happening? That's so weird. I would honestly try that. Yeah. I would honestly try that thing. Like, just go into Illustrator. I don't have it open anymore, but you can say save as run around. Well, you probably won't even have to rig it all over, but you'll have to swap the art out. Character. Hopefully you won't. It's fickle like that, but yeah. You save it as an AI file, but there should be an option that's like version number 2021 or 2020 or legacy. How does that open? Oh, I don't know. Much in there. Yeah. I think it's just called legacy. Okay. That might help get rid of these issues. I had a lot of issues. I actually talked to Adobe back and everything. That's a thing. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes. Huh. Still moving? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, yeah, CC Legacy. I don't know why that is. I think they just added some to like 2020 that haven't quite got incorporated. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So now you have a left arm and a right arm layer. You can rig these up. Demonstrate on this guy. So kind of the first thing you want to do, I grab my left arm layer, and I'll see that it has a pivot. Left arm handle. I just want to move that up to where I want it to connect to the. If I select the left arm again, I'm just going to talk about this briefly because this is something to be aware of. So each one of these layers has its own sort of properties. There's like an X, Y position value, scale, X and Y, rotate, opacity, blending mode. Attached to is kind of the important one. So you can say specifically attached to body, or if you leave it on auto, it just tries to find the thing that's closest and attaches. Usually that's fine unless you're trying to hack this on purpose. There's also a thing that says attached style, and that can be weld, hinge, or free. For an arm, weld or hinge will work. They'll both have different behaviors. Hinge will basically keep the arm where it is rotation-wise as the body moves, but it will move with the body. Whereas weld, when the body rotates, the arm will rotate, it'll follow along with it. I do like using hinge depending on the character. Like a gorilla might be nice. Then his arm won't always be just kind of like flailing up in the air when you move your head around. It'll stay around. But okay, so now you have the left arm layer selected. We move this left arm handle to the top here, so it's kind of like next to the body where it would attach. I'm going to go ahead and grab the handle tool that looks like a target. Plop a handle down at the elbow. Boom. Then grab the dragger tool here and plop it down at the wrist. Then I'll grab the stick tool. I'll just draw sticks in between handles to say, please do not deform those areas. Wait till you get. And okay, the things under it, the bicep and forearm, take the crown off of those. Anything under the left arm, pretty much you're probably going to have the crown off. And that's going to create a unified mesh now, and you'll be able to lay down your handles. Independent makes it like its own artwork, but like, so if everything underneath the left arm, which is already independent, is independent, it doesn't see that like triangulated mesh thing to interact with. So it won't let you put a handle on it. And we'll get more familiar with what that does and why you want to make things independent and why you don't as we go along. That's right next, right at the bottom of your gorilla there. It looks like a stick. Yep. Yeah, and what you did there, it looks like you put one handle at the very end. Do make sure that one at the end is draggable or drag. But that works just like, okay. All right. How did I show you? Oh, maybe you didn't put a handle there. Can you see my screen still? I'll do the other arm. Here's the right arm. Step one, I move the handle up. So everything underneath my right arm is not independent. So I do get this mesh. Then I just grab a regular handle. Looks like a bullseye. Put that at the elbow. I move over a couple more and I grab the one that's called dragger tool. In between the pin and the dynamics. Like, I don't know, a joystick or something. Put that over at the wrist. And remember, draggers, those are the things you can move around. Then draw your sticks in between those three handles. The arm root that we had, elbow, and then elbow, and then dragger. See kind of the mesh change, where it's very dense around those articulation points, but I put those sticks at. Now, sometimes, like when I'm looking at what you got here, you got maybe other layers under there that are also generating handles. Something you can do to kind of clean that up, and this will probably work fine regardless, but I'm just sort of like, I like to visually see it look good, is you can grab those handles and move them all up to where your shoulder is, just to get them out of the way and kind of make your mesh sort of more closely indicate what it's going to do. Yeah, like I see one sitting there, it's like right bicep or something. Any handles that aren't free, you put down on her. Okay. How do I show you this? Well, this character doesn't have an example. It probably doesn't matter. For now, let's just draw the elbow and the draggable arm and the sticks, and we'll test this out and get out of it. And if it's a problem, yep. Right. That is because right there next to that stick you drew is another handle that says left something. Do you see it there? Left bicep. If you grab the selection tool and just grab that handle and move it up to your shoulder. Yeah. Yeah. Light up. Yeah, like all those, it's all those little extra handles, left bicep, left forearm or something there. Like just move them all up to the shoulder, honestly. It doesn't matter. It just makes it more visually appealing. It probably won't even break your rig to have them where they are. But I do that. I just move them all up so that it looks makes it easy. sort of look at things. And yeah, so you got that one that's your bicep still up on the. This is also where the other view comes in handy. If you get rid of the show mesh, it just does this. Yeah, see down below your arm in that bottom. Like that, yeah. Now you can kind of see all your handles real clear. There's your left arm, left forearm. Or you can just never turn show mesh on and then have to that is why it does that. And these are really thick arms, and honestly we can mess around with this and see what it looks like, and then if you need to, you can actually add more dragger or sticks. Oh god, why does it keep doing that? So weird. Okay. So that is either here in record, you just want to go over to the project panel and select the character itself. And then underneath your camera, you'll see puppet and you'll see the path to the art. If you click on that path, you can change something in the browser. Yeah. There is also there's like a refresh button here. Or press F5, I think. 5 is the. So now, as long as your dragger behavior is on, you should be able to grab your arms and now you see how they're behaving. So you can go and edit those handles and those sticks. Do whatever you need to do to kind of get them working the way you want to. Cool. Gosh, I've hit my time, but I think that's start anyway. Yeah, you're welcome. I'll show you one more thing, because this is kind of cool and important. Kind of two things at once. So here's my right arm. Those handles I put down, right? I can select them, and over here in my properties, I have tags again. I can actually start tagging these. That's my right shoulder. This is my left shoulder, or my right elbow. And this dragger is my right wrist. And the other thing I like to do is right click on that dragger wrist and rename it, and actually call it like right arm drag or something. And when you go to record, that's going to save your life, because your track will have a unique name rather than dragger 2. And so what these tags do is, this is where we start getting into like extra functionality in Character Animator. Like when you want to do a walk cycle, you have to make sure the handles are properly. But even for just a standing character like this, it's nice, because we can go up to the character itself, the rigging panel for the puppet, select the character, and I can scroll down and I can add a new behavior. That's limb IK. So, see character, right hand side then, very bottom you have behaviors, little plus button, say limb IK. And that, like when you go back into record, character selected, you're gonna add a whole new puppet track behavior called limb IK, which has a whole bunch of settings in it for you to edit kind of how the arms bend, how stretchy they are, when does the elbow flip, all that kind of stuff. but it's also opening it up so that eventually we can rig the legs so they can be drug around just like the arms. And actually, the way your character's facing, we're just like a few handles away from a walk cycle. That makes sense. But you can go ahead and tag all kinds of stuff. I like to tag them, regardless of what I'm doing. But punch you. I'm a little elf. Yes. Not really. I'm going to run. Run away from the gorilla. Yeah. Illustrator. I was gonna say Illustrator, it's easy. Colors, stuff, so select those yellow eyes and make them red if you want. Or you can make 3 different layers that are eye colors. You can have red ones, yellow ones, green ones. You know, talk about how to swap that stuff out. I do. I just dropped them in. I didn't hope. Have a happy that. And then I have cycle layers on them too, so I have to go in and have cycles. Add the cycle. I think the R is meant. Yeah, it should be there, yeah. Drop it in Word as well. And that one's already rigged up, so you don't drop it in. Boop, 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 boop. I got it. Drops. That you can just import into Character Animator and then place it where you need it. Blah, 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 blah. I am Alfie's the happy elf. Wow, look how happy I am. Oh, now I am sadder. I am much sadder all of it. And it's crazy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's for another. I'll wait till y'all have mouse sets. Sound thing. Now you know the. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's the next part. Make some mouse sets. or just one, you know. One of the tricks you keep in mind as you make them. I mean, first I would probably just make all the basic phonemes that are listed. Template that you got, or there's a mouth template I uploaded. They're also there. And just fill that in with art. And then we'll just keep making the thing more advanced. Add in between those. Make like a smoother. This guy is kind of smooth. Got 2 or 3 shapes. Maybe more arms, like a gorilla would be great if he had an arm that was like his right arm would face out as those. Yep, that's it. And it's so easy. Get the hang of it. And you just know. I hate to see people try to swap out art and goose up, and if you don't really know what to look for to figure out why it's broken. Yeah. It's weird, kind of what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe I don't mind it. Yeah, party time. Party time. Weirdness. This might almost accept. Well, it's pretty close to accepting it. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Okay, and keep going forever. So. Yeah, let's hook up our mouth sets. I don't think that'll take the whole lesson, but maybe just. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, cool. Yeah, and if you got time, think about like eyebrows. Like, do I want to have different emotional states? So do I want different eyebrows, eyelids, those blink shapes? On your personal character, make different hands, and we'll talk about how to. I'm probably actually gonna work on Narek, but I've been working with 3D motion capture, so I need to be working in yeah, right now I'm just setting up for it. My suit's on the way, like weeks out, coming from Sweden, and I guess they put them together to order. So, but I'm gonna have the whole setup. I'm gonna have gloves, body, and face. I want to be able to capture all that onto a 3D character inside of the Unreal Engine, real time. Hook that up to Twitch chat so that these savages can continue to torture me in the realm. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And whenever it gets exciting, like, oh, 40 people rated or whatever, everybody gets excited, and then it's like freaking animations. My computer starts being like, hey, man. Yeah. I gotta tune all that stuff, I think. And I think I gotta re render things to make it more lightweight, but at this point, I think I'm gonna try to make the 2D garden mimic what I want the 3D garden to be, which is not so much like anyone can summon VPS or anything, but that just ambient chat makes the garden. So I fixed that. Um, no, I think basically what it is what I want. Um, I need a tree and I need. So this is what's cool. Like my original intention was to go inside of that cave you all see. So I definitely want that same stuff like modeled. Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah, and I'm trying to get the character modeled like this. I don't want it to be too like real 3D. I definitely want it to look cartoony. The way I intend to apply the rendering, I'm gonna do like a tuned render to it, I think. But it solves, like moving to 3D just solves all of these problems I have. Like, I want to be able to walk and fly and look sideways and have camera angles, and but if I can kind of nail those things down and sort of limit them so that it never really drifts too far from looking 3D. I've given you my secret technique for the Iron Fist. Yeah, so simple shading, simple shading. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I want an environment like I could sit against the rock wall. I could take a camera and move it over my shoulder, and you could see like the drawing pad in my hand, off like the tree, but it's blue. So I want to have like a few distinct camera positions there. So I won't switch scenes so much anymore as I'll just be switching unreal cameras with the. Oh, yeah, we don't even. Yeah, yeah, we don't even need so much the top. I'll just sky dome kind of thing up there. But yeah, I, I was gonna start mocking it up a little bit just with placement, something to tool with, so I get some kind of character sitting there and to the environment. Early, just so I see where the problem. Yeah, the garden's the main one. I'm just gonna focus on that area, and then shifting the camera around a lot. Because I got to think about like, I can't upgrade my computer right now, especially processors crap are hard to get up. Got to make something that runs with everything. Surprisingly enough, I can build some pretty elaborate crap in Unreal, and it'll still run faster than my character in Character Animator. Yeah. Yeah. And then last night, like I think some of my graphics are just too heavy, and so yeah, it just went south real quick when stuff started to pop. I gotta really just comb through everything, make sure it's off when it's not being used. Or cleverly hide those transitions into place, you know. Stuff. Have it. They keep me running. Yes. Do-do-do-do. Hey, well now it's free for everyone.